seems to me that there is no contract with Remita. And if system specs assigned their duties to Remita, which is their subsidiary, which they may have incorporated as a subsidiary, and they are no longer in existence, I want to know a part of the clause that permits system specs to transfer their duties, whether there was a delegated duty in that contract or not. After we finish with that, then we need to know when and how system spec withdrew from the contract they had with CBN. They didn't have it with Nigeria. CBN is not Nigeria. The Attorney General is a person authorized by law to enter into a contract agreement on behalf of Nigeria. So it is very clear to me that this agreement is personal and is not binding on Nigeria.
Honorable, don't let us jump into the conclusion.
No, I'm not concluding, Mr. Chair. So
let's listen
let them provide us the agreement system specs had with a legitimate body authorized to enter into a contract on behalf of Nigeria. Then we can go from there.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman, for this opportunity. Remita, please listen to me. And I think that before we can get to the root of this matter, we may need to engage a forensic auditor that has technology as its base. Now, these gateways, not only Remita, gateways, this Remita, not this Remita. I'm saying that for us to get a very good result in this investigation,
yes, please,
we might need to employ a forensic auditor that has technology as its base, because their job is technology inclined. Not only Remita, many gateways. I happen to be in one committee sometimes last year, where when you collect money from people and you are supposed to remit it to the custodial account, and you still have outstanding of billions unremitted when you have collected money from the MBAs. So to Remita, I'm very, very sure they still have unremitted outstandings with them. So
don't say you are very sure, Honorable. Don't put the question
no,
to them.
Why do I say I'm very sure? Let me tell you, if I say I'm very sure, I can give you a reference. I said I was in a committee of National Housing Fund where they're supposed to be collecting maybe 1% or so. They told us, it's not a, they said I have outstanding of about 29 billion naira.
Remita affirmed to you in that committee.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
so
the statement
now,
then. Yes.
Now, if they have about 29 billion naira money you have collected from A, you are supposed to be to B, an online way, then this is huge enough. So for us to get to this route,
all right,
we might go further.
All right.
So let us, the question is that,
thank you.
Did you have any unremitted collections with you?
The issue we are dealing with has to do with a fiscal matter, which is the responsibility.
Can you draw the microphone closer, because we're not hearing you well, and raise the, you can raise, speak to the mic, sir.
Okay, what I was saying is that it is the Federal Ministry of Finance that is in charge of management of government revenue, including expenditure in the most accountable and prudent manner. So for the collection of government revenue, it is the responsibility of the Federal Ministry of Finance. It is not understandable why it was the central bank that engaged the service provider for the collection of the revenue and entered into contract with the service provider I think might have been a circumstance that warranted that situation, which
So
I feel
from the information available to you, the Federal Ministry of Finance did not play any role in the execution of this contract.
from the information available to me so far, I've not seen any role that the Ministry of Finance play in the contract, except maybe the technical people from the Office of Accountant General will help
I
us.
was about to go to them.
Will help us to throw more lights on it.
Accountant General, so what role did you play in the engagement of?
We want to say at the inception of the TSA policy, there is a commencement circular that defines the roles of all the stakeholders. So maybe looking at it from that perspective, I would say that CBN was mandated to provide the banking infrastructure. And possibly it is on that prism that CBN, because for us in the Treasury, CBN is our major banker, is our banker. So they should be able to provide the gateway service for us, and possibly that might be the reason why, as part of the role assigned to the central bank, based on the implementation circular of the TSA policy, possibly that was why that role was left to CBN.
Do you have a copy of the document you are referring to?
Yes, I think it's part of what.
Can you please provide the committee with a copy of that document?
That's
You said at the committee of TSA,
yes,
there was a document which
that's
specified the responsibility.
That's right, and a circular was issued.
Okay.
That effect. So possibly we
Accountant-
submitted a copy actually.
You submitted a copy?
Yes, we submitted as part of our submission.
Submitted this morning. I learned to submit it this morning.
Yes, unfortunately, we are sorry for that. It came a little bit too late.
Okay.
Accountant General. We have GiveMe's as a platform used for expenditure. Why are we not having GiveMe's as a platform used for revenue collection? Why?
I think as at the time GiveMe started, the concentration was on expenditure. And then because GiveMe essentially is budget-based, and then for Remita, actually deal with non-budget funds. So basically, maybe that is why there was that distinction. But as I'm talking to you today, there are a lot of efforts to harmonize such that there will just be one central platform to do the two. But as at that time, maybe circumstances dictated that GiveMe's concern was basically because it was budget-based appropriation, and then the other one, maybe other funds like donor funds and other revenues. So possibly, okay, that may be.
Okay, so I am thinking that why shouldn't we have a government platform to collect revenue?
Thank you very much, Honorable. That's precisely what
Before you go ahead, the young man to your right, please approach the chair. Yes, sir, you, sir. I'm sorry for calling you a young man, please. Yes, please come back. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. That's precisely what I was trying to say. Over time, we also saw the need that we should have a centralized platform. And as I'm talking to you today, the Treasury is designing its own, or has even designed and developed a portal. It has not gone live, but that portal will be like a central hub for all the platforms. And I will tell you, when we achieve that, Remita will only come at the front end to do collection, just like any other company, and we own the portal. So these are part of the development processes. You know, at the commencement, possibly there are a lot of things that needed to be tidied. But as time goes by, we have matured as far as operating the TSA policy is concerned. So there are a lot of initiatives, a lot of new developments that I believe that's why we're even excited with this public hearing, with this initiative of the House of Representatives. We're looking for revenue. My permanent secretary will be in a better position to talk about that. So anything that will give us revenue, anything that will ensure that there are no leakages, we are ready to support that and we will cooperate with this honorable committee to achieve that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Earlier you stated that there was a circular. When a circular is issued to deprive the Attorney General's office the right to sign the contract, the Attorney General, if a circular is issued, you should perform this function. You should perform this function. But statutorily, you know what your function is. And that circular denies you that right to perform that function, which is constitutional. Is that circular above the Constitution?
I don't think there will be any circular that will be above constitutional provisions. I'm not saying that circular actually denied the Office of the Accountant General the right to engage Remita. But I was looking at it, or maybe the office looked at it as at that time, on commencement, that you have a banker. It is your banker that should be able to provide gateway service. How it is done, you may have interest because, of course, you are a principal party. But then I don't think that circular was meant. The circular actually apportioned responsibilities as far as the TSA guidelines are concerned.
When you use the word apportioned responsibilities, it means that if it is a responsibility, assuming but not conceded, if it is a responsibility of the CBN to appoint, it is someone else's responsibility to engage in that contractual agreement. Then hand over to CBN, you can now appoint. Is that not correct?
Honorable Sir, maybe we look at it this way without making any justification for maybe the status. Supposing you have an account with a commercial bank, does it really matter that the gateway service is actually involved in terms of selecting a gateway provider?
Okay, that is a very good question. Can I now appoint UBA to enter into a contract that is binding against me simply because they are my banker?
Honorable colleagues, I don't want us to dwell too much on this matter, and the reason is this. And I must also report that I'm surprised that the CBN governor is not here today, because we had written on 3 different occasions to the central bank governor on this investigation. The one that was the most unfortunate thing was that even the document that the CBN was supposed to submit to this house on this investigation, we have asked on 3 different occasions. And yesterday, when they came again with set of documents that were not in line with the format provided, I had to initiate a call to the director of, I think, banking service to report that, what is happening appears to me as if the CBN itself is not even interested in investigating revenue leakages to government. And I was expecting that the CBN governor will be here this morning, and he's not here. Without the CBN governor, himself here to clarify this matter, honorable colleagues, I really don't know how well we can go to the root of this matter, and possibly also the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the Chief Law Officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so I think maybe we should just take a motion on the CBN governor and the Attorney General, and then we can move on to other issues, if the House so wishes. Yes, please. In line with this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
thank you very much. I see as if you knew exactly what my question was going to be. I was already preparing that motion because what is worth doing is worth doing well, Mr. Chairman. I looked at all these documents. This is supposed to be an investigative public hearing, and I'm surprised that Remita is bringing documents. CBN that signed a contract with Remita has refused to bring documents. How do we verify? There is nothing to compare numbers with. So I was very worried. And we have actually mentioned this severally.
Let's have your motion.
Yes,
Just
that,
go to
yep,
the motion.
yes, 1 minute, because if I'm moving a motion, people should understand why I'm moving a motion, sir. I think, Mr. Chairman, again, I know our last meeting, we put a motion across too, to state categorically that if documents are not submitted 48 hours at least before our meeting, we will not entertain those documents because they ambush us with all these documents on the day of the hearing. And that motion passed. I'm surprised that even the Accountant General's document just showed up now. So, looking at all this, against this backdrop, I remain Chief Dr. Billy Famous Osawara, representing the good people of Orion-Onwode Federal Constituency. I'm a proud Benin Chief from Edo State. I rise to move a motion. I rise to move a motion that before we can entertain any of these documents again from Remitas, the CBN, the Accountant General's office, the Attorney General, the Central Bank Governor, all must be present. Not by proxy, all must be present with all the relevant documents before we entertain any of this. I so move, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Hereby second the motion, well crafted and ably moved by Dr. Haiti Billy Osawara. I so second.
Those in favor of this motion to invite the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation to appear before this committee to speak to these matters, should please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.